So are you ready for a little Harry Potter magic this Halloween night? I thought I would treat you to a night with me in the studio where we can create this journal page that I'm showing you a preview of. I also thought that I would show you a preview of my Harry Potter journal. It is a huge journal. It is what you would call a wizard's journal, and I'm really excited to share it with you. So I hope you'll stick around, grab a pumpkin spice latte, and have a little Harry Potter magic fun with me. Hello everyone, so I am back with my Halloween Harry Potter journal video. I have my pumpkin spice latte and I am ready to go. So yeah, I thought it would just be fun to just kind of kick back and work out of this journal. I have Harry Potter playing in the background. I wasn't sure on copyright, so I had to do a voiceover because I didn't want to get in trouble. But yeah, I had Harry Potter playing and it was just fun. So I thought I would let you all just kind of join in the fun with me, and you can grab whatever drink you might like. And yeah, let's get started. So this is my Harry Potter journal that I have been working on for quite a few years, actually. I mean, I've only worked maybe a day or two, and then it got put away for a year, and then I'd take it out, and I worked on it at the retreat with Gail for a little bit last June, and the retreat was canceled this year. So I thought, what a perfect night to work on this. And so I'm just showing you a little bit of what I've done so far. And this journal is huge. I wanted an actual, the wizard books that you see, and they're just huge. That is what I wanted to create. So this is, I think it measures around 13, 14, maybe even 15 inches in height. And then it's probably 10 or so inches in width. That would be like half a page. So it's if it's open, it would be like 20 inches in width. But every page I wanted to have a theme. So this is like my Flourish and Bots theme, with the stationery and the pen and the ink. And I have my little spell cards that I created from my Wizard World's digital collection, and these are some of the pages that I still have, to work in. There's a lot that I still have to do. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just, I love it. In the beginning, I was never really that big of a Harry Potter fan. My mom is the one who got me all into this, and I watched the movies, and I saw the artistry and the creativity behind it all, and yeah, I was just totally captivated by it all. And so now I'm a huge fan. And then this, what I'm showing you here, this is what I was trying to create as far as the cart on the train, the candy cart. So, we got the Harry Potter jelly beans, and then I have some of my cards that I created from Wizard's World, and, like the cockroach clusters that you see there, and then I have my chocolate frogs, and I was just trying to recreate the magic, I guess, from the movie and the story and all of it, and just incorporate it into this journal. So I wanted these theme pages, and as you can see here, this is my Ollivanders theme page with the wands and everything, and on the right side you'll see that's some of my digitals from the Wizard's World collection. And then on the left page, my mom and I, we went to a thrift store and we found this Harry Potter game, so we split up these charm cards, and I thought they would work perfectly for this page. And then the Ollivanders bag there came from Universal Studios Disney World, where my mom and my aunt and I went to visit. It was shortly after they opened, and we all sat down after we got back and we started creating these journals. And that's what this is from. I think that was like 4 years ago. So when I get done with this, I know I'm gonna have people asking, and I've already had a few people ask if I'm gonna sell this, and I probably won't. This is probably going to be something I will actually hold on to, or I might give it to one of my children if they're interested in having it. But yeah, this is definitely going to be one of those work of arts that it would be really hard to part with it, because I've spent so much time already and it still has so much work left to do in it. And one of the things that I really was trying to do when I was creating these pages is making sure that there was a lot of interactive parts to each page. So there's these flaps and there's these pockets, and I have little scrolls with string, and yeah, I just really wanted it to be fun. And so each page, I would say, maybe a day spent on each page just trying to think it out and figure out what prints I wanted to use, what imagery, what ephemera I had laying around, how I wanted to incorporate everything. And the pages are just so large, they're so big, that it takes so much to just mat and stencil and stamp, and you need so much to cover these large pages. It's kind of like doing 3 journals in one. And so it's taking a lot of time, but it's been so much fun, and it's nothing that I really wanted to rush. It's something that I sit down and I put Harry Potter on, and I just enjoy each page. Of course, I had to put a wand inside the bag. I think I looked up Harry Potter's wand, and I think that that's Harry Potter's wand in there. And then this was actually the first page that I started to create, and I was sitting down with my aunt and my mom, and we were just kind of working on some things. And this was way before I had even done the Wizards World digital collection. And so I was just using things that I got from Wizarding World in Universal Studio, or things that I had happened to find, like the thrift store, those game cards. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that each page had a lot to it. I really am putting my all into this journal here. And on this page, there's Nocturne Alley. I wanted to try to recreate Nocturne Alley and all the shops and everything into this journal. And so I have like I said, I have a long ways to go, and this page still has a little bit of work, but I thought it was kind of neat to create these little flaps on each side where you have the store, and then put these postcards inside. And I bought these stamps from Wizarding World when I was in Universal Studio, and also this envelope, as you can see there. So it was kind of neat because those are my little souvenirs, and I was able to incorporate them into my journal. And then I decided that I really didn't like that piece of washi tape up above, so I just ripped that off. I don't know why I had that there. Sometimes I have leftover stuff and I'll just plop it wherever. There we go. That's much better. Lots of pages left to do. There's some that I've already started, like this. I think I'm going to use. Somebody gave me this, and I colored it at the retreat, at Gail's retreat. So I might use that. And then I have some tea-stained papers. This is where I was thinking it would be fun to work on the owl post page. And that's the Carabelle owl stamp. I love that stamp. I love that stamp. And then this is one of the pages from my digital collection, Wizards World. and same with the chocolate frog nuts. I really try to use my imagination on this one. The crystal gazer, you know, I was coming up with all this stuff. Broom butts. I had way too much fun. Actually, my mom helped me with it. We were trying to brainstorm certain things that we could come up with that was our own, and we just had way too much fun. Lots of laughs. I did this actually on, I put my print there on the back of a placemat is what that was. Gail had some placemats, I think, and she gave me some of her extras. So that's what I had backed that onto. And then this page, this was a page I worked on at the retreat as well. And of course, I think you probably can figure out it was the moving staircase. I really tried to give the illusion of this moving staircase. And then of course I wanted all this lined journal paper in there. And then Sheila was generous enough to give me some of her beautiful trims, and so I used those on this page as well. And then that magnifying sheet there, I got that from Dollar Tree just to kind of give it more of that visual illusion of, you know, I just kind of wanted movement. And yeah, I was pretty thrilled with the way it turned out. And then these papers, I thought I'd show you real quick. This is newsprint paper. So you can buy those big pads of it at Michael's, and that's what I used to create the signature pages. And then the white thicker paper there, that is watercolor paper. And again, you can buy big pads of that at Michael's. So that's how I built my signature pages and how I was able to create such a large journal. But as I said, these pages, oh, when you're working on something this big, it's just it's so time consuming. It just takes so much to fill these pages up, but once you do, it's just cool. And I mean, it would be so neat to do like a Jane Austen theme or Sherlock Holmes. I think once I get done, like I said, if I ever get done with this one, I think it would be fun to work on another one this size. And it's just really neat because you can add so many different flaps and make it so interactive. And that's the one great thing that I love about working with something this size that's so large. And it's just fun. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to recreate here what would be my version of the owl post. And that's going to be my theme page here. And so I've already started on it, and you can see where I've stenciled the background and I've added in some washi tape and I've done some stamping, and then I added in some postage stamps. And now I want to work on some envelopes, I'm thinking. So I'm just taking some envelopes. I actually had to open mail up to get some used envelopes, and I'm gonna, I think, just decorate some envelopes. I thought that would be fun. Since it's the owl post page, I wanted to have letters and envelopes and the owl and then a whole bunch of correspondence items. So that's kind of my thought there. And then the other thing I wanted to show you, so I have been stashing up things for this Harry Potter journal over the last 4 years, and so I thought I would show you a little bit of what I kind of have around me and what I might incorporate into this. I have all these goodies. Oh, and then I did want to show you the cover. So I took some canvas and I printed one of my designs on canvas. I had to enlarge it and then have it printed. I think I took it to Staples and had them print it for me. So that is my cover, and then I used, of course, the map. Okay, so some of the things that I plan on using is I have some airmail envelopes, and then I had these airmail sticky notes that I got from Walmart, and then just some blank tags. And then I made some of my own washi tape, and I did that using the 3M surgical tape, and then I just backed it onto a transparency, and then printed out my own washi tape here. So I'll be using that as well. And these are from my Wizard World digital collection. I have this. I was trying to recreate Harry Potter's neighborhood, kind of a neighborhood scene, and so I used one of the caramel stamps. I think it's at my window that I used, and I created this little pocket flap using a paper bag. So that will be a future theme page that I'll be working on. And then I found these two books at the thrift store. So this is a music sheet book, and so I might take some of these out and use some, images and the sheet music and incorporate them into my journal. I was thrilled when I found these. And it even has the CD inside. I loved these pictures. So I found that one, and then I found this coloring book, and I was thrilled to find this one too, because I've actually bought some of the other ones when they were first released and paid full price for them. So I was thrilled when I found this one, and I'm thinking what I might do is just spend a day and color some of the pages and then incorporate them into my journal. But there's some really neat pages in here. Like, I love that one. I love this one too. I think that one would be so much fun to color. And yeah, I used to, when my girls were smaller, we would go to Barnes and Noble and they would get cheesecake. I would get a piece of quiche, and we would just sit and color and do art, and oh, I really miss those days. It's amazing how fast time goes by, because now they're young ladies. And my boys are grown young men. My oldest is going to be turning 30 this year. I can't believe it. Okay, and then I have, of course, a little bag filled with all this bling and stuff that I've just kind of been collecting, and little bits of trim here and there. And when I go to Hobby Lobby, I sometimes go through the jewelry section to see if I can find anything. And I did find this little book pendant, and I thought that might look kind of neat on the side of my book, or I might incorporate it somehow, some way. And then I found these buckles. Just, if I see stuff on clearance, I'm always grabbing stuff. And then I found an H, which of course is perfect for Harry. So I might just build these little dangles coming down off the side with the book and the H. And yeah, that's kind of my plan for the spine of the book. Oh, and then I found this dragon, and I thought he would look major cool on the side of the spine as well. So I just kind of want this really blinged out spine. And yeah, so I have this dragon and the book, and then I did find this owl that I'm going to incorporate, and just really, yeah, I want to create this really intricate and amazing spine for this book. And then I have some gold bling. Let's see what else I have in here. Oh, I have this little optical lens. I'm not sure if I'll use that. Maybe I will. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. You never know. When I start creating these things, I never know what I'm going to use, but I just like to have lots and lots of stuff around me. But let's see what else I have in this bag. Oh, yes. So for my dangle, this is probably what I was thinking on using for the side of the spine, just kind of building that in with the other items there. So yeah, there's just a little preview of my plans for the spine. And like I said, I've just kind of collected these things over the last 2-3 years and picked things up here and there. And you should see the box that I have down below. I could spend probably 2-3 hours just going over everything that I've collected to build this journal. It's crazy. I have like way too much stuff. One thing I do have to show you though is while I was at Wizarding World at Universal Studio, and my aunt and I and my mom, we went to all these shops, and I did pick up this really cool suitcase, and it had all these little notes inside, note cards inside, and envelopes. And then of course I had to buy these wax seals, and so I thought this was the perfect thing to store all my little wax seals from there. And I think I got like Gryffindor and Gringotts, and I can't remember the other ones, but I got quite a few of them. And so I was planning on doing some wax seals. Don't know if I'm going to get to them tonight, but I am probably going to be making myself some wax seals with all these wonderful little treasures that I got from Wizarding World. And it just, I look at these and it just memories flood back, and I just think of all the fun that my aunt and my mom and I had. It was so much fun. I just had to show you these. I was pretty excited to get them, and I guess it'd be better if I actually made wax seals, and they'd probably be a lot more interesting to look at than just what I'm showing you here. But I thought I would show you a preview of the journal and everything that I've done so far, and kind of my future plans of what I'd like to do, and the spine, and just kind of show you how I lay everything out, or things that I might use and incorporate into my journal. And like I said, this is a different sort of journal because it's so large, it's so big, but it had to be a wizard size journal, of course. So yeah, it had to be huge. And what I'm showing here is how I make my wax seals. I did do a video on this, but I just do it the old way, and I know that you can buy a hot glue gun that you can put wax through, and you could do it that way. It's a lot easier. My mom has one, and I probably will get one too, but for now I just kind of still do it the old way. Okay, so let's start building a page here. So what I did is I had these embossing folders, and I've been meaning to use these for quite some time, and I do have extras of the Lion in London. And so if you're wanting any of those, just shoot me an email because I can give them to you for a really good price. I have, I think, 3 extras. And then I used a postcard one, and this is just plain copy paper that I ran through, with the embossing folder. And so what I'm going to do is, to start off, I'm just going to cut off a piece of it and size it to one of my envelopes. And again, I had to open up mail to get some used envelopes because I didn't have any, or if I did, I don't know where I put them. And right now my studio's it's a disaster. Can't find anything. So yeah, I'm just gonna take and glue this onto my envelope. And you could emboss the entire envelope, but I kind of wanted different textures, and I thought I would want to stencil and do some other things, and I wasn't sure how that would take, stencil going over an embossed area. So I just embossed a couple things onto just a sheet of copy paper is all I did. And again, I'm just trying to size it around that window because I do want that window to, I'm going to probably put something inside that I'll have kind of peeking through there. So I'll just go ahead and glue that down. I want to make sure that, I glue my edges down really good. I want it to look like it's part of the envelope when we're all done with it, and not, a piece of paper that was glued on. So you want to make sure that you really glue it down really good. And then I think I'm just going to take some of my Distress Oxides in probably like purple and gold, maybe red and gold, and just kind of distress over some of that embossed area. Okay, so I started with the red, which was barn door, and then the lion was yellow, which I did him in mustard seed, I believe, and then I'm taking wilted violet, and I'm going to introduce some of that purple shade in as well. Now, I'm not sure what to think of the lion. I don't know, I was going for that owl post theme. So what I'm thinking as I'm doing this is that I might take that owl that I showed you previously that I had already colored and apply that over some of that embossed area, because I really want to stay with this whole owl post theme, and I want the owl. I don't know if the lion really works here, so I'm thinking this owl here that I've already colored. And you could probably find something from a coloring book that you could use that's similar, and then just color it and add it on to your envelope. You could use pretty much any embossing folder like I did, and then just distress over it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take some of my homemade washi tape. This is super easy to make. I just took a transparency, laid down some strips of 3M surgical tape, and then printed my design onto it. And so that's how I made that. And I'm just going to take a little strip and put that up in the corner. Now, if you don't have this, you could use any sort of washi tape that you might have. It could be a solid color, it could be fabric. There's lots of things. You could put postage stamps there. Okay, time to stamp. So I just took a variety of stamps that I found. I have quite the collection, and some that I love are the correspondent theme stamps. And one that I will be using a lot is Tim Holtz, his correspondence stamp set. I use that so much. I love that stamp set. It's like one of my staple items. I have to have it, and I will be using that one a lot. And then I have one that I'll be using from my stamp set, and that's the owl with the registered letter, one of my stamp designs from Carabelle. And I probably will use the owl somewhere on this too. And so I'm just going to stamp that below that address confirmation, which was already on the envelope. And now I'm going to take my London stamp, and this just had some of the London flag, and stamp that up above. And again, if you don't have the same stamps as what I'm using, I mean, you could use a variety of different stamps, whatever you might have. You could maybe do some sentiments, or you could draw. You could find images and cut them out and glue them onto your envelope that are similar to some of the things, the stamps that I'm using. So there's a lot of different ways, you know, that you could recreate the same thing or something similar to what I'm doing here. And I think I can almost see some of you thinking, draw? Yeah, right, draw. Because I've had some of you reach out to me before and say that you couldn't draw a stick figure if you tried. But, you know, this is one of those things where sometimes doodles and things like that, it doesn't have to look perfect. It ends up looking really neat, especially on an envelope or something where you have correspondence and you're doing a collage. Sometimes those doodles really make it look, you know, really cool. So when I said draw, don't think you have to be you know, you know, that guy, that famous artist. I have Mozart stuck in my head. It's not Mozart. Okay. Michelangelo. Yes. Don't think you have to be Michelangelo or, you know, or anyone like that. So now I'm just taking, and I have this black, and I want to make those numbers pop. So that's why I'm taking, and I'm just kind of going lightly over that embossed area so my pen catches it and stays in those lines. And it also gives it kind of that drawn look, like you drew it on there, you know, to make it seem like it's more like a work of art. Again, this video, this is just something that I thought I would share with all of you. I didn't really intend for it to be any sort of tutorial, maybe a little bit of a demo, but my main thought in doing this video was just kind of to let you all spend Halloween with me, and if you wanted to create, you know, you could kind of create along with me. You could grab an envelope and do a whole different theme. You don't even have to do a Harry Potter theme. It could look totally different. Maybe you want to do something more Jane Austen, or I don't know, maybe florals or birds, butterflies, something Christmas. You could even do something Christmas. Maybe this might inspire you or give you some ideas. And, you know, I just thought it would be fun to, again, share my Halloween with all of you. And I hope you're enjoying the video so far. So here's where I'm taking some more of my homemade washi tape. And, you know, again, you could just do a Word document and type out Telegram, or you might use, you know, some sentiment there if you're doing a different theme. The main thing when I'm doing these collages on the envelope is I like to do a lot of different elements. You know, I have the washi tape, and I have the stamps, and I have the embossed sections and the stenciling, and then I have my little owl that I colored. And so there's a lot of visuals to look at, and it just, again, I try to make it so we're creating this little work of art here. And I don't know, I think it's fun too to do different things, you know, pull out the inks, pull out your stamps, and just kind of have fun with all these mixed media tools. So I'm still not liking that flag area there. It's something still off, and so I thought I'd add some blue to it. And, you know, because the London flag has blue in those sections, and just kind of make it look a little more finished. I just was not happy with that. And, you know, I have that little bit of blue where it says address confirmation. So again, that just kind of ties everything together there a little bit more. And I thought I would also do it on the arrows. and I'm just having fun. Um, you know, it's just one of those things where this is for myself and it's nothing that I'm really selling, so I'm just kind of letting loose and coloring, and yeah, I'm not really I'm not really trying for anything that's sheer perfection here. I'm just sitting here having fun. And then I thought I would take my white pen, and that really is, I think, what it needed, and that just kind of finishes some of those harder, rougher edges that I had going on there and gives it more of that finished look. So, you know, if you're stamping, pull out your markers and just have fun, color away and draw and doodle, and, you know, just maybe try something new and see what you get, because I think you'd be surprised. You know, a lot of times, well, at least I know when I first started drawing, well, I drew when I was a kid, but I didn't want anybody to see my work. And I think even today, there's times that I draw something and I don't like it. And there's even this kind of fear of messing up or whatever. And I've actually gotten a lot better about that, like not as afraid, because now I know ways to maybe fix something, or I can usually salvage it. It hardly ever ends up in the garbage, but yeah, there's still days where it's like it's a complete disaster. And yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say is just have fun creating, and just don't put too much thought into it, and just have fun. Okay, so now I'm going to use some of this airmail strip washi tape from Tim Holtz. And I think it's just the perfect size for filling in that little white section there. And it ties in that red, blue, and white that I have going on there too. And I'm just going to take little strips here and there. And the thing I love about washi tape is if you put it down and you don't like where it is, you can always lift it up. But I usually do, once I know that I want, you know, I'm sure I want that washi tape there, then I usually do take a little glue and glue that washi tape down just to make sure that it doesn't lift up, especially the ends. Okay, so I don't know what more I want to do with this envelope at this point, so I'm going to set it aside. I'm probably going to come back to it a little bit later, but I think I'm going to start on another envelope here. And I know I want to use this owl. I thought he would look kind of neat, fussy cut out, and put him on the corner here, and then just do some stamp work or stencil work kind of going around him. Now these postage stamps, I got those from somebody at the retreat. This was an envelope that I was actually working on when I was there, and I just didn't have time to get any further. And so, you know, I didn't really have a plan. And thank goodness I used those foam square dots so I can easily pull it up and reposition it. Thank goodness I didn't glue it down. And that's one of the things when I do a lot of my journal pages or envelopes or tags or whatever it might be, I'm usually very careful about not gluing things down right away. I want to be absolutely sure that I'm gonna want something and not change my mind later, you know, before I glue anything down. And right now I just kind of like to cut things out and kind of lay things down and reposition things, see what I like, and then I kind of just go from there. So now I am ready to stamp. One of the things that I keep in mind when I'm stamping is the fonts. So I like to really mix up the fonts. I'll have something really big in it, you know, a larger font, and then I go down to a smaller font. And I think you might notice that when you see me going along here, I just kind of like to mix it up a little bit. The other thing too is I'm not afraid to stamp over other images and collage that in. A lot of times I know when I was teaching anyways, I would see people stamp and they would keep everything separate. They were afraid to stamp over certain images or parts of images. And when you're collaging, actually, that's something that you want to do to kind of bring it all together. So I went back to my first envelope and see, this is how I work. All of a sudden I just kind of thought, I'm going to distress purple. I don't know why or what made me think to just kind of go from stamping into picking up the other envelope and tying in the purple. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's sometimes what I do too. I just, something will pop in my head, and you know, that's how it usually works in my world anyway. So, and you know, it really did need it. As you can see, it just, I think it looks better with that purple there. So now going back to my second envelope. Oh my. So I thought what I would do is, with the owl there, is create a corner pocket, and then I have my stamp set that says secret, and I thought it'd be kind of neat to stamp that onto this piece of paper and just create another element to this envelope. You know, just that interactive, what do I want to say? That interactive, you know, to make it interactive. Okay, it's like 2:33. Yes, I am back on my early morning schedule again. So I tend to just, you know, 2-3 o'clock in the morning. But I had to get this out for Halloween, and my day, oh, it was crazy. So when I originally planned to have this video up today, I did not take into account, because my life is so insane, that I had 2 appointments. I had 2 appointments that took up most of my day. And, you know, then my husband and I, we ate dinner, and then I started downloading this video and started doing my voice editing around, oh, I don't know, 9 o'clock at night. And it's now, well, it's approaching 3 a.m. right now. So yeah, but you know, I had to get it up. I'm bummed I couldn't get it up the night before Halloween, because that was my goal, but it had to get up today no matter what. So the carved pumpkins, I don't know when that's gonna happen. Maybe my husband will just like, no, that's not gonna happen. I'm not even gonna go there. It's just not. I think what's gonna happen is there's just gonna be some plain old pumpkins sitting out. But you know, I don't even know how many trick-or-treaters there's going to be, you know, with the whole COVID thing. I'm not even sure. So Hopefully there won't be too many because I've already eaten most of the Halloween candy, so there's not even that much more Halloween candy left. But I guess we'll see. Main thing was this video, like this was the most important thing. It was so nice to just sit in the studio, and I wasn't trying to rush anything, even though I knew I was way behind schedule. My main thing was, just not only getting this video out by Halloween, but just, really enjoying the time that I had to create. And I had it set in my mind that I was gonna work in this journal, and I only get to work in this journal maybe once, twice a year is all. So it was really, kind of a special time just to enjoy creating, like really doing something that I love, not because it was something that had to be done or anything like that. So yeah, I hope you're all enjoying the video so far. Okay, so I think I'm just about done with the front of this envelope. Now I'm going to have to do the backs. And so before I get to the back of the envelopes, I'm just kind of going through and distressing everything. I did create my corner pocket there. I'm sure you saw where I glued only the side and the bottom to create that pocket there on the side, and then stuck my little secret note down in there. And yeah, I like the way that this turned out. I'm actually liking the way both of these, I think once it's all together, it's just gonna look really neat on the page. And so I think what I want to do is try to figure out what I want to put in the window of the envelope. And I thought that on this design here, this is from my digital design, Wizard's World. Boy, try saying that really fast at 3 o'clock in the morning. I thought that would look really neat in the window, so I'm just kind of measuring it to figure out where it needs to be cut so it'll show through in the window there. And then I'm just going to cut it out and stick it in my envelope, and I think the front anyway will be all done. Oh, I'm getting hungry. I don't think I should eat at 3 o'clock in the morning though. But I'm kind of getting hungry. I'm thinking about that Halloween candy, see? I mentioned it and now I'm like thinking, ooh, what can I get into? Let's see, there's Reese's peanut butter cups. Oh, I love those. Yeah, I might have to go. I have to take a break. Get the chocolate fix here. Okay. Now I have to. I like the way that looks, and now I'm gonna figure out what I want to put in this other window. So I was super creative here. I went with the same design. I don't know why. I just think it looks really cool in the window. I tried a few other things and yeah, I liked this one the best, so I just did the same thing. All right, so there are my two envelopes, but like I said, I still have to do the backs. But I like the way the fronts look so far. And like I said, I'm kind of imagining it. Well, here, I'll show you. Okay, so I have my background that I already had done previously, and again, I just stenciled and stamped and added some washi tape is all I did. And then I have this parchment paper here, and I thought that I might need something to kind of break things up a little bit because I do have this kind of busier background, and then of course my envelopes have a lot going on too. And so to break that up, I just kind of threw in this parchment paper, thought that I might create some flaps and have the envelopes either swing up or swing over. Not sure yet. Probably have them so they swing up. And yeah, see, I'm just kind of imagining here how this page is going to start coming together. So once I start adding in my lined papers and the other envelopes and, you know, all those wonderful layers, then yeah, I think that it's gonna look pretty cool. And this will give you some sort of idea of kind of what I'm thinking here. Again, I want all those layers. I'll probably create flaps where things flip up or go to the side and so forth. And I don't know if I'll have a chance to build that page up the way that I'm imagining it tonight, but you can kind of get a visual of kind of what I have going on here. So I'm going to go ahead and yeah, start working on some more envelopes. I do have this airmail envelope and I just did a little stamp there, added some washi tape, and you know, I think that's all I'm pretty much going to do because I'm going to have it layered behind one of the other envelopes, so we're not going to really see much more than the top of the envelope. And I do want some things to be a little cleaner, you know, not as busy. So I'm going to go ahead and start this third envelope, and I decided to use these stencils. I kind of liked them. I thought they kind of would tie in with the whole Harry Potter theme that I have, and I liked the way that they all lined up on the envelope there too. And so what I thought I would do is take my distress oxides and I would do one in red, one in brown, the vintage photo, and then one in blue. Okay, so I did my stenciling, and then I did a little bit of stamping on the cuffs, and then stamped with my registered letter stamp. And now I'm going to just do a little more stamping, again using different ink colors, blues, plums, staying in that, you know, red and darker red and blue tones. And when I'm stamping, I mean, I put a little bit of thought into it, but I don't try to overthink it too much. And I love the way the pointed fingers look on the envelope. I really like that. I'll probably do that again on something else. Maybe in a guy's journal or something like that. I think it looks totally cool. And so after I get done stamping, I'll probably do the same thing. I'll add in a little bit of washi tape and distress it all, kind of blend it all together and call it good. And then I'll have my 3 envelopes done. And then I have to, for this envelope, I'll have to recreate the flap. Like I said, I had to tear open mail to get these 3 envelopes. I was looking for this size in particular, and so I was left with not many choices on envelopes, and this was one that my husband opened. That's why it looks the way it looks, all torn at the top. So yeah, I'll have to recreate the flap for this one because it's a little torn up at the top there. But I was just happy to find 3 envelopes this size. I had to go through quite a bit of mail, but I found 3 envelopes I was looking for. So yeah, you know, when I do these videos, okay, so an hour's gone by and I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know what to talk about. My life is work. I work. So as far as telling stories, I don't have a lot of stories to tell. Like, I don't really have, I'm sitting here thinking, I don't really have any really exciting stories. I used to, like back before I started my own businesses, like I had tons of stories. But now I work. And I don't think you guys would want to hear my stories that have to deal with work. They're not fun. They're not fun stories. Like, usually like, the site goes down, or I'm on the phone with Microsoft again. The printer is offline and I have to figure out how to get it back online. Or I ran out of toner and I gotta fill the toner up. Or I ran out of batteries and then I have to go to the store and get batteries, and then I have to run to the post office and get the orders to the see what I mean? Like those are things you guys want to hear. I mean, I guess I could tell you about this. This might kind of be a story. Oh, you might find it kind of funny. So I'll go ahead and tell you. So my dog, I think, you know, in my previous video, my dog was crying. Well, he was growling and then he was crying. Well, every Thursday we have our pool guy come, and he's, you know, same pool guy that we've had for the last 7 years or so. And for whatever reason, my dog just barks at this pool guy. I mean, the entire time he's cleaning the pool, it's just bark, bark, bark nonstop. So I was talking to my mom, or I was trying to talk to my mom, and I didn't know that the pool guy was out there. And I had the sliding glass door open, so it was just the screen door to outside. And my dog, I call him Vinci. His name's Da Vinci, but I call him Vinci or Vinch. Except for when he's in trouble, then I call him Da Vinci. And anyway, I'm talking to my mom, trying to, and my dog just barks and barks. And when he barks, he barks really loud, and he just kept going and going and going. So I got really frustrated. It was one of those days, and I just screamed at the top of my lungs, you know, Da Vinci, shut up. Normally I'll say like, be quiet, but I actually said, shut up, which is not very nice to say, you know. It's kind of the rude way of saying, well, it is the rude way of saying, be quiet, but I said that super loud. I think the neighbors had heard me. I'm pretty sure my neighbors heard me, but I know the pool guy heard me. I did not know he was out there. I was so embarrassed. Yeah. See, that's about the most interesting story I have had all week. That's pretty pathetic, isn't it? You know, in my younger days, the stories, oh my gosh, I always had a story. Like, my life was one big adventure. My life now, I mean, it's never boring. I never have a boring day, and I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong. But as far as like talking in a video and saying something that's very interesting or something that you guys might want to hear, yeah, sometimes I'm just kind of like, I'm at a loss. I don't know what to talk about. You know, I could say what I'm doing in the video and be like, yeah, right now I'm cutting some paper with the paper trimmer, and I'm going to cut the top of the paper, and then I'm going to cut the other side of the paper. Yeah, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. See, I'm starting to get goofy. I'm sure the giggles will be coming any minute now. Oh. Okay, so I guess I could say what I'm doing. I thought that this London header on the lined paper, this again is from my digital collection, I thought that that would look pretty cool sticking out through the window there. So I'm just trying to fold it and size it to where it will show through that window there. And the colors, you know, it coordinates with the colors and everything. So I thought that that would work pretty perfectly in that envelope. And yes, I love it. I love it. I could actually, you know, even if this wasn't for Harry Potter, I could probably recreate this envelope, and I'm sure I could use it in something else. I love the way this envelope looks. Love it. So now I'm just gonna kind of even out the top there so I can recreate a flap for it. Because I'm thinking that I'm going to have it flip up and I'll need that flap there. So I just found a piece of paper that had that red tone to it and some sort of texture look to it to kind of match with, you know, what I have already done on my page here. So I found an envelope that had a flap, and I'm just tracing it. And because I ended up using this envelope, which was a little bit smaller than the envelope, you know, that I'm creating the flap for, you know, it ended up being, the flap ended up, oh God, I can't talk. Oh, I'm all tongue-tied. The flap ended up being a little bit smaller than what I needed it to be, but you know, because I'm going to be using this flap as actually something where I want the whole envelope to flip up, I didn't really think it was, you know, that big of a deal. So now I'm just scoring it, and I'm going to glue at that score line. So you can kind of see how I'm folding that at that score line, and then yep, I'm just gonna glue it down and I will have my flap. And then I'll have to clean up the edges on the front too, and I'm just gonna do that with some washi tape. And so I'm starting on the inside of the envelope here, and then I'm just going halfway across, and then I'm going to fold it down, and that should clean up some of those edges. Now, when I went across, I didn't do it perfectly even, but you know, on that right side, it's you know, I didn't go even across, but I don't, you know, again, I don't try to go for anything too perfect, especially if I want something kind of vintage looking. And I think that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to take my Distress Oxide and just take some vintage photo and distress it. And again, I really like the way that this envelope turned out. I'm gonna, I think I'm gonna recreate this envelope 2 or 3 times, because I know I could use it in Sherlock, and I know I could use it in a man's journal. I love the look of it. I don't know why. It's just one I really like. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and start on the back here, and I think I'm going to use another stencil, and the stencil that I'm going to use is by Andy Skinner, and I don't know if you can get it anymore. I think I got it at Tuesday Morning quite a while ago, but it is going to work perfectly for the back of my envelope. I mean, the theme, everything, it just goes. So except there is, I did goof up on this. I don't know what I was thinking. You'll see. Well, I'll wait. I'm gonna have to fix it, because yeah, you'll see. So I'm going to take my Distress Oxides again in the same colors, the Vintage Photo blue and the red color, and just kind of, oh, I think I add purple too. I think I do some of that wilted violet. So I'm going to go with those 4 colors just randomly. But as you will be able to see, stenciling is a great way to just add that little bit of wow factor, I guess you could say, to a background, or, you know, if you just have white and you want to cover the white, if it's the back of a paper, the back of an envelope, you know, grab some stencils and a few different shades of Distress Oxides, and it just adds so much, and it's so easy to do. I don't know why I don't think to stencil more. I mean, my stencils, I need to use a lot more, even just some of my die cuts too. Or I should say dies, to make die cuts. I need to grab those out a little bit more. But some of the things that I do have coming up is the Iron Orchid designs and some Dollar Tree items, and I thought that it would just be fun to do some craft items or some simple decor items. So I do have that video coming up soon, and that'll be a lot of fun, because I have been so excited to get the clay out and some of those molds. I mean, the Iron Orchid molds and their stamps, I love them. So I'm really excited to start playing around with the clay. So that, yeah, that'll be coming up soon. And yeah, so I'm just finishing up the stenciling here. As you can see, I love this stencil. This is the first time I've used this stencil, but I think this will be one that I'm probably gonna pull out and use a lot more. I just really like it. And it's got the airmail in there, travel ticket, it's like I said, it's that perfect theme. And so again, just gonna distress it. I probably do a little bit of stamping. Just, I don't even think that it really needs it because that stencil just added so much to the back there, and it is the back, but just to kind of maybe tie it in with the envelope a little bit more, I might just do a little bit of stamping. And so I'm thinking that this flap, I'll just have it flip up under that top flap. It's kind of my idea there. So yeah, a little bit of stamp work, and then I think this envelope would be done. And I just, oh, I love the way that this one turned out. Oh, here's my mistake right here. So I thought I was being pretty genius, you know. I thought, oh, I'll incorporate the 9 1/4, you know, like the 9 1/4 platform in Harry Potter. But then I realized as I was doing this video that it's not 9 1/4, it's 9 3/4. So I'm gonna have to find a way to change the 1 to a 3. That was a little oops. See, I should have taken, I might have to cover up the 1 2, and then I could use that 3 and 4, find some way to cover that up and make that look good. I might have to get out the white acrylic paint. I haven't done that yet. And I usually do that with almost everything, I think. So yeah. Anyway, I have to make it 9 3/4. I just have to. So I will be fixing that. Not in this video, but I will be fixing it. So if any of you leave any comments that it's supposed to be 9 3/4, yeah, I know. Oh. So yeah, I'll have to definitely fix that. Otherwise, it looks really good, I think. And again, at least it's the back of the envelope, so I don't even know how much of it'll really be seen, you know, until you flip it up, and then other than that, you don't really see it. So now I can start putting my page together a little bit and kind of give all of you an idea of how this page is going to come together and how it's going to look. And so I have this coffee stained paper, and then I have my stamp from Wizarding World, which I had to use somewhere on here, and I realized I didn't stamp it perfectly centered on the page, so to kind of help trick the eye a little bit, I just stamped the airmail next to it to kind of make it seem, you know, not quite so off-centered. And I might add just one more stamp there. Yeah, I think it needed that for sure. And it just kind of, again, ties everything together there. And then I have my airmail envelope, and this is where I want to just kind of start to figure out how I want to build my layers. And I won't be able to get to it in this video, but you'll have a good idea of how it's all gonna look once it's done. And you know, I'll probably have to build in a few flaps here and there so some stuff can swing out to the side, and then I'll have some stuff swinging going up. And yeah, I really like how everything turned out. I love the envelopes. I really like how the whole page kind of flows and the colors all kind of tie together, and the, you know, just a lot to look at. And then I had this owl trim. I got it from Joann's, and it was in their fall clearance. I got it last year, and I think it was like 90% off or something like that. It was dirt cheap, like 80 or 90% off, because I waited till, you know, they barely had anything left, and it was like last minute stuff of, what they had left in their fall section, but I knew that this was going to work perfectly in my journal, and I thought that for this page it would work perfectly and kind of be like a belly band. And it ended up working really good because it was wired ribbon. So when I folded it, it all stayed in place, and I didn't really need to attach it to anything. It just kind of stuck there. The wire was holding it in place. So that ended up working really good. And yeah, I love it. I thought I would take this little post office stamp here and just kind of stamp the trim just a little bit, kind of make it tie in with everything else that I had going on in the page, because there's not enough going on the page. But no, I just, it's supposed to be a post office owl, so I made it a post office owl is what I did. Yeah. Anyway, I really am loving the way that this all turned out. Just really taking the time and just having fun with it and not trying to rush through anything. I can see it come through, the little things and the details that I did. I just really like the way it turned out. And the trim, in certain sections I thought it was a little dark, so I'm just taking my white pen and just adding some little white highlights is all that I'm doing there. And it kind of gives it more of a drawn, again, sort of painted drawn look on the trim, and so that kind of ties in with what I colored on the page. And yeah, just those little extra details. And so now I just have the back of this envelope to do, and then I think I'm gonna have to call it a night. But it has been a really fun Halloween night with all of you. I'd have to say it's one of my top Halloween nights that I've had in a long time, and just I had so much fun because there was a lot going on that you couldn't see behind the scenes. Like I said, I had my pumpkin spice latte. I had made it to almost the third Harry Potter. But if you go to Peacock, my mom told me this, I don't know, you probably won't be able to watch all 8 in one night. But they had like the whole series, the whole Harry Potter movie series on Peacock TV, so you could have streamed that, and that's what I did. I just downloaded the app and started to watch it when I was doing this. So I had that going on in the background, and it was just fun. I love these times when I don't have to panic to rush to get something done, or I can just actually sit back and enjoy it and take a sip of my pumpkin spice latte if I want to. And it's just been really a great time. So again, I hope all of you have enjoyed this video. Was not planned originally. It was just something last minute, and I really had hoped that I'd have it up Halloween Eve, but we made it in time for Halloween, and I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm happy with the whole content, as far as I get that I get that my video productions are not what you would call the best by any means, but I think the content, I really try to keep the content very high quality and have it so hopefully you guys are always learning something, and I hope you appreciate the videos. So yeah, I have a lot more coming, a lot more planned, and I have the iron orchid designs coming up. That's my next video that I would like to do. And I bought some Dollar Tree items, some Christmas Dollar Tree items, and I just thought it would be fun to do some simple decorations or home decor items, just really simple, and just have some fun, kind of switch gears and go from Halloween into just straight into Christmas. So that'll be coming up soon. So what I'm doing on the envelope here, I put the number 1, and then it was supposed to just be the number 3, but when I stenciled it, it brought in part of number 1, but I wanted it to just kind of be like number 13, and then I took the part there that says lucky, and it was supposed to be like lucky number 13, but I don't know, some people don't consider 13 to be a lucky number. I'm not superstitious, so you know, I thought it just kind of seemed like a Harry Potter thing, and I just kind of went with it. And that's pretty much how I'm just doing all of this. I'm just kind of just going with it here, just taking the stencil and find a space, and I think something might look good, and yep, I just kind of just let it go. And I think that it really helped just staying with those 3 main colors, the blue, red, well, I guess it was 4, the blue, red, brown, and purple tones. And I didn't really go out of that color range. And as you can see, everything just kind of flowed together really nicely. And I'm really excited. I'll probably spend a day or two over the weekend, if I can, squeeze in an hour here or there and try to get those flaps in and get everything kind of, you know, secured down and just be done with this page. And I need to do more Instagram and Pinterest. I have this beautiful camera that I bought for my son. I have not figured out how to work it yet, but I need to. And I have to figure out how to work out my new video camera. That's in the works as well. But I would like to do more pictures and put more things up on Instagram and Facebook for sure. Definitely want to do more videos, and I have another video planned, like I was saying, that's coming very soon. That's the Iron Orchid video, and that should be lots of fun. You know, we're just going to kind of jump right into Christmas, and I'll probably actually decorate my house here pretty soon for the Christmas season. So I thought it would be fun just to kind of get my hands on some of the clay and the Iron Orchid molds and just create some decorations and a little home decor maybe. I bought a ton of Dollar Tree Christmas items, and I was planning on using some of that in the projects that I had planned on making. So yeah, that video will be coming soon. So be sure to catch that video, and I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on what you thought of this video, what you thought of the project, if you got any ideas, if you planned on maybe making some of these envelopes, but maybe changing up the theme, or maybe you're a Harry Potter fan. I'd love to know if you're a Harry Potter fan. I'd love to hear what you thought. I hope all of you had a nice Halloween evening, whether it be giving candy to the trick-or-treaters or however you might have spent your Halloween, and maybe you're seeing this after, but yeah, I'd love to hear your guys' comments and your thoughts. Okay, so I am finishing this up, and I really, I know I've said it like, 50 times now. But I really do love the way that this turned out. It just came together better than what I thought, I guess. And I'll probably spend a day or two just finishing it up, securing everything down, building my little flaps and so forth. And then I'll try to get some pictures taken and get it up on Facebook and Instagram, and I do have a newsletter coming out soon, hopefully next week. So lots in the works. I have a lot planned. And yeah, thank you all for watching. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, please be sure to do that if you're wanting to see more videos. And you know, leave me comments. Let me know how you're enjoying the videos. I do not do this for myself. I do it for all of you. They take a lot of time, so I'd love to hear how you all are enjoying the videos. So be sure to catch me in my next video, and thank you so much for watching.